Good evening. Just waiting to go live on Instagram. Good evening, good evening. Welcome, everybody. I'm going to try and look at both cameras at the same time. Let me shuffle you Instagram so I'm not going cockeyed. So you might see my eyes jumping backwards and forwards as I'm trying to go live on Insta and Facebook at the same time. Apologies. Um, hey Will, how you doing? So this evening, I really wanted to um, share with you guys some tools, techniques. Hello, Ruth. I was wanting to go all high tech and share slides that I'd actually prepared for doing this talk at the library. Um, but it wasn't meant to be. And what I discovered was actually, you know what, let's keep it simple. We've got enough crazy tech going on in our lives. So let's kind of keep tonight simple. Grab a notebook and pen, take some notes as we go along. I'm going to point you in the direction of some free support and also other resources and support and things as well. Hello, Tina. Hi, Linda. Hi, Ruth. Um, as I say, sorry, I'm going live on both, so my eyes are kind of popping backwards and forwards. Hey, Megan. So as we go through this evening, please do reach out with any questions that you might have. For those of you who don't know me and have maybe been sent this way by a friend or family member, I'm Susie McWilliam. I'm an empowerment and transformation coach. I'm a meditation teacher. I specialize in supporting people with anxiety. I'm an author, and that is kind of the basis for my book, Be Free, is to support people in overcoming anxiety, stress, and overwhelm. And that's what we're really going to look at this evening. So I help people move from feeling stressed and anxious and overwhelmed and disconnected to a life that feels healthy, vibrant, joyful, aligned. And I do this through coaching, through meditation, through mindfulness, through courses, through healing, through my membership. So lots of different ways that I support people. Hi, Pamela, in overcoming anxiety. Okay, so I want us to jump right in with a breathing exercise. So for those of you who are just joining, hello. And it's jumping straight in with an anxiety hack for you. Okay, and many of you who have done any form of work with me already or have read my book will be aware of this technique. But what we're going to do is we're going to shift ourselves straight away from fight or flight mode into rest and digest. So we're shifting into from our parasympathetic into our sympathetic nervous system, or vice versa, sorry, from our sympathetic into our parasympathetic nervous system. So we're going to be doing that straight away. What was I going to say there? Yeah, we're going to dive in with that, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about kind of my background and my experience of anxiety, depression, social anxiety, self harm, overwhelm, and all those things. So I'm going to get really vulnerable with you tonight. I think that it's really important for you to recognize that my life hasn't always been this way, and that even the person that looks like they've got, excuse my language, got their shit together, um, maybe they don't. So it's really valuable for you to recognize this in yourself and in others, maybe with people you work with friends, with family members. You know that sometimes on the outside people can look like they've got everything together and everything going for them, they've got a great job or a great family or whatever, but on the inside they can still really be struggling. And 1 in 4 people will suffer from mental health issues within their life. And currently during this pandemic, I would imagine that that has increased dramatically. And anything we can do, any awareness or techniques that we can learn to support ourselves and others really is critical. So I'm going to give you some tools, techniques, but as I say, I'm going to get vulnerable with you to show you that there is hope. What I will say is there's no magic pill, okay? There is no magic thing that I sell. There is no kind of magic pill. Um, Recovery from anxiety, depression, and stress does take work, but it's all kind of leads us in a really positive direction where we can make lifestyle changes to support ourselves in creating a lifestyle that creates lasting results. So that's why I'm saying it's not like a magic pill. You don't take it and then if you stop taking it, the anxiety comes back. If you do the things I'm going to speak about, you won't suffer from it again. Like you'll have moments of feeling a little bit anxious or a little bit concerned, but you will not drop to the depths of despair that maybe you've experienced in the past or are currently experiencing. So yeah, as I say, as I go through these things, fire away with any questions, comments, or anything you want to know, and I'll be happy to answer them. So let's do a little breathing exercise. Good evening, Margaret. And just drop into this space. So what I'd like you to do, and you can do this with your eyes open or your eyes closed, whatever you feel comfortable with. I want you just to take a nice big deep breath in and just breathe out. Hey, Abby, breathing in, breathing out. Okay, and what I want you to do now is I want you to breathe in for the count of 3 and out for the count of 5. Breathing in, counting in your head for 3. Breathing out for 5. In for 3 and out for 5. Okay, you can blink your eyes open if your eyes were closed. Okay, so that technique where we are counting our breath, we are taking a longer exhale than our inhale, will shift us into that rest and digest mode. So it's shifting us from our anxious state into a more calm, relaxed nervous system. Okay, so super easy. 1 to write down. Breathe in for 3 and out for 5. You can do this first thing in the morning. It's a great one. I would often start the day like that previously, whereby I would wake up in the morning and my anxious head would be overthinking, running at 100 miles an hour, thinking, oh my gosh, I've got this to do today, I've got that to do today, I'm never going to manage, blah, 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 blah. But using that technique just to focus your brain, to calm your nervous system so you can go into the day feeling more in control, more calm, so you're starting your day off in the right way. Okay, so as I mentioned, if I had slides, they would be up, but who needs slides? Anyway, so I've got some things written down here: depression, anxiety, panic disorder, panic attacks, social anxiety, self-harm, stress, overwhelm. Oh yeah, depression, I said that. So as I, nothing is too silly to ask me as we go through these things. Let's keep it interactive. If you want to interact, if you want to ask me anything more personally, feel free to email me. But do ask questions throughout. So those things that I've just mentioned, the depression, the anxiety, the panic disorder, the panic attacks, the social anxiety, the self-harm, the stress, the overwhelm, were just some of the things that I had experienced. Okay, laid on top of that, chronic illness, vertigo, psoriasis, tummy issues, IBS, a whole host of different things that I had experienced throughout my life. But what I have come to discover is all of these things are our bodies telling us that something isn't right, okay? Something is out of balance. And when we can begin to bring more balance into our life, these things will subside, okay? So they're great indicators. It is never there, your anxiety or depression or whatever is never there just to make your life hell, okay? It can feel like that. We can feel stuck, like it's never going to go away, and like, what have I done to deserve this? And And I know one of the people who's watching here that this statement really struck a chord with them was, what about if anxiety was your friend? Okay, what if your anxiety was your friend and it was trying to tell you something? What if you befriended it and thought, hey, anxiety, my beautiful friend, what are you trying to tell me? What is imbalanced? So use these things as a trigger. So I'll tell you a little bit about my own kind of journey with anxiety and panic attacks, and kind of where I came from to kind of where I am now. But I'd suffered from panic attacks from the age of 15. That was kind of the first point I really remember. I've got a shocking memory at the best of times, but I'd gone to the doctor, and the doctor wanted to prescribe me antidepressants at 15, and also prescribe me beta blockers to help support me with panic attacks. And I remember even at that point thinking, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel right. And I know for many, um, antidepressants are essential and beta blockers are essential to cope with really stressful, traumatic things that have gone on in people's lives. And I get that. And I'm an advocate of both. And, there is a time and a place. However, for me personally, at 15 years old, a kid who hadn't experienced any trauma, I hadn't experienced anything particularly, I don't know, upsetting. I had a loving family. I was bright. I had, lovely friends. Good social life, all these things. So there was nothing really that I, could pinpoint, what was causing these panic attacks and things. So I knew for me that that wasn't kind of the way I wanted to go. So my mum at that point took me to a homeopath, which helped for a little while. Even my doctor, which is absolutely beautiful and incredible thinking back now. I went to see a different doctor, and they tried to do some hypnotherapy with me. And I remember now thinking, oh my gosh, that's incredible. Like 25 whatever years ago, a doctor, thinking that outside the box, which I thought was beautiful. But um my mom started taking me to yoga classes at the age of 15. And that began to help a little bit, and I loved yoga, and I still do, as many of you know. But then kind of alcohol kicked in, and stress of, uni, and I was always really driven. So I had my own flat by the age of 18. Um, I was working two jobs. I was trying to be at uni full time while I was working two jobs. I was also partying really hard, as you do when you're at uni, and trying to do it all. And I just, at that point was the point where I started to self harm. So I would hit myself when I was drunk. I would, hey Claire, I would, hit my head off things. And, this was predominantly either through alcohol or post panic attack or whatever, taking a panic attack and then thinking, oh my gosh, you're so stupid. How could you do that? Like, why can't you control yourself? You look like such an idiot. And, just being really, really horrible to myself. Thanks, Abby. Yeah, let's keep some humor as well. Abby saying, own flat by 18. That's incredible. What an achievement. I'm 30 and still rent. um, so yeah, I've always been quite driven, I suppose. And yeah, so the alcohol kicked in, and probably not eating particularly well. Then that's when I began to suffer from psoriasis. And I had psoriasis. Thankfully, I didn't have it on my face, but I had it from my neck over my whole body. Um, and as, say, like an 18, 19-year-old, this was pretty horrific because, you wanted to go out clubbing and wear nice outfits, and I was covered in this like scales almost over my whole body. And my dad sourced some cream from overseas, magic cream, which began to clear up the psoriasis. But Equally, it never cleared up the panic attacks. It didn't clear up the racing heart. It didn't clear up the punishing myself. And it I carried that on. I carried that on through into my adult life, and I met my husband, and we had an incredible, well, still do have an incredible life together. And I became married, and I had a beautiful house, and amazing stepmom to two gorgeous kiddos, and I really was living what I thought was my best life, but I wasn't happy. And it didn't matter what I did. The panic attacks were coming thick and fast. I was really, really struggling. And then I had my daughter. And then about a year after, I began to suffer with labyrinthitis and vertigo. I would suffer with chest pain every single day, and feel like I'm going to black out. And then I suffered miscarriage and infertility and various other things. And it was at that point we'd started IVF, and I decided that IVF wasn't the route for me. We already had, two stepchildren and our gorgeous daughter, which was a miracle. And I just couldn't go through with it. Mentally, I wasn't in the headspace for it, and we stopped that journey. Now, at that point, for me, that's when the shit really hit the fan, I suppose, and I had a breakdown. So for a week, I literally phoned the doctor at that point and was like, okay, just give me the pills. I'd been trying for like nearly 20 years to figure this thing out, and I just thought, no, enough is enough. Give me the pills. So I phoned the doctor. I took one tablet. My husband was out that night, and I took the biggest panic attack I've ever had. I thought I was going to die. And I phoned NHS 24, and they talked me through things over the phone, and it was just a panic attack and palpitations due to the medication that I'd taken. And I just spiraled and just felt like such a failure. And I don't know if any of you can relate to any of the things I'm saying. I know obviously this is a bit open doing it this way on Facebook and Instagram, but if any of you have experienced things like this, please let me know, or others know that they're not alone um, in this experiences. So at that point, as I said, I was in bed for about a week, didn't really eat, just totally numbed out, didn't know what I was watching on TV, just lay there. And then something hit me that I had been trying all these natural tools and techniques for, as I mentioned, since the age of 15, till kind of very early 30s. And I thought, what are you doing? Like, I want to be there for my kids. I want to show up and be the best version of myself for them. And I wasn't doing that. So something just switched, and I began every single day to add a new element, whatever I could, to support myself. And the addition of these elements has basically, fast forward to today, is the basis of the work I do now. So everything I did to support myself at that point, I went to see a nutritionalist. I started meditating every day, sometimes for hours and hours and hours on end. Meditation was at the only time that I had respite, and we're going to do a little bit of meditation as well. And I started to eat better. I started to drink more water. I started to focus on sleep and rest. I started to do exercise. And when I say exercise, I don't mean like going to the gym. But for me, I could walk from the bed to the shower, and then I would make it from my bed to the garden. And then I would build up from there, and my mum would take my arm and we would walk around that garden. Jude's just saying this is similar to her story, right down to trying without the meds, then giving in to needing them for a period. Thank you for being so honest. Yeah, and I think this is really important that we are, honest about these things, especially at this time. Like, I am so concerned for the mental health of the world. right now and everything that everyone is experiencing. And that's why I want to share that there are things that out there, and without, kind of totally preaching, like, if you haven't found that thing yet, don't give up. And that's what I want you to know today. And Jude saying that she appeared to have it all on the outside and then she felt guilty for not being able to appreciate it. And absolutely, it is in our mindset, and I'm going to come on to that in a moment. So, oh, sorry, I'm just seeing comments coming through. Hi, Wendy. Thanks, Sarah. um, so, I went through this period and then I started blogging. So I would start writing about all the things I was trying. And the blogging was basically for myself, so that I could begin to track if there was any improvements. Because some days I would think like, oh my gosh, like this is horrific. It's worse than it's ever been. And da 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 da. And then my husband would say, Susie, it is not. It is not. So I started keeping a blog, and I'll maybe share links to that actually, my old blog. You can go check it out. But what I want to come on to now are the 10 key areas that I feel are necessary for us to work on in order to overcome anxiety, stress, and depression. And when we begin to look at these 10 key areas, then that's where we will begin to see shifts within our life, within our moods, within our emotions, and support ourselves. So, you can download this from my website. There's a free resources section on my website, www.spiritandsoul.me. I'm just going to hold it up and show you. So this is the anxiety, try to show them both ways, anxiety matrix I have created. It goes along with my book as well. And I'm just going to run through the 10 areas very, very quickly. And this is something that you can come back to, and I would urge you to do that, or you can write it in your journal just now. So area 1 is positive mind, positive vibes. Okay, so this is all about mindset. If we do not have the appropriate mindset, it doesn't matter what you do, whether you eat the best food, whether you exercise all the time. If the mindset isn't supportive, isn't loving, isn't kind, it doesn't really matter about the other things. You will feel improvements for a moment, but then that internal chatter, that voice, that negative voice will kick back in. So on this chart that you can download from my website, or as I say, you can just do it in your journal, out of 10, with 10 being like, woo, I am rocking positivity and being like super high vibe, to 1 being like this negative Nancy in your head constantly at you, telling you how bloody useless you are, you can grade yourself there on where you're at. Okay? And we're going to go through the 10 things. And then what I would advise you to do is the areas that you have the lowest scores are the areas you want to tackle first. But mindset is typically the place I start with every single client, okay? Bar one other area I'm going to come on to, which is really, really will see quick results and changes. So, positive mindset. Margaret saying, want to give you a hug, can relate to everything you said, been there, done that. Why did I feel like that, like you? No probs in life and such a failure and alone. I know. Life, this is the thing, there's no, anyone can suffer with anxiety, stress, or depression, okay? You may have suffered a really traumatic event that has triggered like PTSD or something like that. That may not be the case for you, okay? There's no, like, someone is more, like, I don't know how to put it, like, not so much deserving, but like I don't deserve to be anxious because I've got all the great things going on, and then you beat yourself up about that. But, there's no, like, criteria. I suppose anyone can suffer from anxiety, stress, and depression. So There we go. Elaine, you've just raised my vibe. Yay. um, and yeah, sorry, I do jump about a bit and I apologize, but I just want Elaine saying there about raising your vibe. So one thing actually, I just did an interview with an American lady, and that was one thing she said. She said, "Oh my gosh, you're like speaking about something that's quite, serious and all those things, but yeah, you're keeping it light." And this is the thing that I want you guys to take away from this as well. There is an opportunity for us to approach this from a place of light and a place of love. Okay? If you think about, and this is how I described to this lady, like if you were stuck down a well or something and it's dark and there's a ladder, you're just beginning to look up and you see this light and you're taking like little incremental steps. That's what this journey is like. Um, and it's important to focus on that light and love, otherwise it can feel really heavy and really dark, and not a great place to be at all. The other thing I want to jump in and add there before I go back to these 10 keys is be very careful about where you are seeking support. So, when I wrote my book, for example, I joined a lot of chat groups for anxiety sufferers, people that were suffering with depression, and these places are very, very negative. I found very little positivity and support. You do not need any more negativity in your life, okay? There's enough negativity in the world without us consciously going and seeking it within groups and social media. Okay, you want to be around people who are higher vibe. You want to be around people that are positive. You want to be around people that are loving. When you are struggling yourself, okay, you need to focus on surrounding yourself with that positivity, because you will be so receptive when you are struggling to all this other negative stuff. So you want to surround yourself in that light and in that love. Um, just reading some of these comments, sorry. Okay. So yeah, Sarah's saying that she's been diagnosed with PTSD after losing her mum. And she had a breakdown. Things are better now, but she feels like this numbness that never seems to shift. No matter what I accomplish, makes me feel so ungrateful for what I have. Yeah. And Sarah, I bet that is because your mum was probably the first person to celebrate you. The mum was probably the first person who you would have gone to. And I get that. Like, I totally get that. Um, so, yeah, I really feel that for you. But we can work to celebrate ourselves and empower ourselves. And many people, friends, relatives of people who suffer with anxiety or panic attacks, contact me and say, "What can I do to support them? What can I do to help them? What can?" Or people have come to talks before and said to me, like, "I'm here because my son, my daughter, my wife, whoever suffers with anxiety. What can I do to support them?" And the harsh thing is, nobody else can solve it for us except ourselves. And we can pay as much money as we want in the world, and we can go to as many healers and all these things as we want, but ultimately, if we do not want to do it for ourselves, it's probably not going to work. Okay, so you need to want to make these changes to support yourself. Sarah, supportive husband who tells the truth, keeps it real, always positive. Yes, yes, yes. So we need those people around us who can raise us up and pull us up and pull us out. So it's about finding the right people in the right places, which actually brings me on very nicely to the second key, which is protecting yourself from negativity. So again, you can mark this on your chart. How good are you at protecting yourself from negativity? Okay, so right now, think social media, the news, moody, grumpy friends or family members. How good are you that like thinking, "Oh, I actually don't want to engage in that," or do you get stuck, like, say somebody starts bitching at work, okay, then you get sucked in, or are you strong enough to step back from that and be like, "I'm not getting involved in that." Like, why would I get involved in that? But we people typically do get involved in that energy of others, because we're it's in our tribal genes to all stay together, and we want to fit in, and we want to be part of a group and part of a space. So Sarah needs to learn to self reflect and praise yourself. Yeah, yeah. And it takes work. It does take work, Sarah. Um, so how good are you at protecting yourself from negativity? Next one, saying no. Okay. Anxiety sufferers, people pleasers, give me a heart or a like if that is you. Yeah, the majority of anxiety sufferers that I support, and myself included, were people pleasers. Okay, yes, yeah, I'll help. I'll help. Doesn't matter that I've got like a ton of work like this on my own desk. Yeah, let me do it. I'll help. Okay, we like to make people happy. However, we often do that to the detriment of ourselves. So think about opportunities where you can say no if you are taking on too much. You know, it's really, really important to learn to say no to things that you don't want to do. Okay, when we start compromising ourselves and compromising our values and yesing all the time, then we don't have energy for the things that we love. Okay, next up, food and nutrition, feeding freedom. Okay, so how good are you? How good do you think your diet is? Okay, so first off, if you suffer from anxiety and you drink coffee, you drink caffeine, stop. Okay, cut the caffeine, go caffeine free on your coffee, your tea, whatever. What a difference it will make to your life. I have worked with so many clients who live off of Bloomin' Monster and have like 7 coffees a day, and they're like, Susie, I'm having palpitations at work and my hands are sweating and I can't go into the boardroom because I'm going to freak out. And I'm like, you're having 7 cups of coffee. So I do say it nicer to them, though. I'm a bit more empathetic. But however, yeah, cut the caffeine, okay? So anything that is going to give you a high and a low, you want to cut over all areas actually. So, think about things like sugar. Okay, I am one of the biggest chocoholics you will ever meet. Um, and that was a big deal for me. But sugar gives you that high, then it gives you that low. It also causes your heart to race and stuff. Like caffeine gives you the same effects as anxiety. So, the clammy hands, the heart racing, you know, have a couple cans of Coke and you'll probably feel anxious. Yeah. Sugar and caffeine are big no-nos. So if you want to notice like a really big, quick changing your diet will support you. So, think balanced. So I'm not saying don't eat. Far from it. Some of my clients end up eating more when they work with me because they're not eating enough. So you're wanting to keep your blood sugar at a level. Um, Sheila's saying her diet's awful just now, but yeah. So I think so many people are struggling currently with the whole coronavirus lockdown. Margaret's saying she's gone gluten free, she takes her supplements, and her anxiety is almost gone. Yeah, exactly. Nobody asked me at 15, no doctor said to me, oh, Susie, are you sleeping enough? Or are you living off microwave pizza and Pepsi Max? So, you know, think about what you put in is what you're going to get out. So, as I said, I'm not saying don't eat. Far from it. I'm saying eat often, eat regularly, balance it out. Hey guys, um, you know, try and have a balanced diet. Okay, next up, grounding. So, grounding is basically anchoring our energy. It is getting outside, just kind of connecting with Mother Earth, getting into nature. I know this lockdown period has obviously been a struggle, but for many, it's encouraged more people to get outside. And I would advise you to make sure you get outside every single day, whether it's hail, whether it's rain, to just get outside. When we go outside, our world feels bigger. Yeah. When we're stuck at home, our world feels smaller. So we are stuck, we can feel overwhelmed, everything can feel too much. When we get outside, our world is bigger and it allows us to ground ourselves into the moment and kind of, balance ourselves energetically without going too woo woo spiritual on you all. So, um, positive mind, protect yourself from negativity, saying no, thinking about the food you're eating, grounding yourself, breathing. Okay, so we did some breathing at the very start, and you hopefully felt a bit of a difference with that. And when we are doing any form of, mindful breathing, i.e., bringing awareness to our breath, using our breath to support us, is really, really important because often, especially if you suffer from panic attacks, I know my lips used to be numb, I would hyperventilate. I don't actually know. I don't know. I've kept it. Is it here? Let me see. I've kept this as a memento. Yeah, I've got it here. Just to remind me how far I've come. This was my handbag go-tos before. Okay. So I would have a paper bag. This very paper bag has probably been used to regulate my breathing. Okay. So I don't know if anybody who's watching has suffered from panic attacks or, anxiety before, but our breathing will tend to be short and sharp. Pamela's saying she's changed her diet since working with me. Yay! On her depression, and now she's nearly 15 years on. She's off her omeprazole. She's managed to stop taking them for 3 months and hardly ever need Gaviscon. It's amazing. When we begin to make these shifts, and this is what I'm saying, it becomes a lifestyle. These shifts in all these little areas, it has knock-on effects in other areas, okay? So you may think, oh, well, I'm suffering from anxiety and focus on the anxiety, but actually it might be because your mindset isn't particularly great, you're working in somewhere that's really, really negative, you're saying yes, 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 yes to everyone, and to get through the day, you're living on chocolate and Coca-Cola. Yeah, it is a recipe for anxiety. Okay, so breathing, using different techniques, and you'll find some videos on my YouTube channel of various techniques that you could use to support yourself for anxiety with your breathing. Next up, my fave, meditation and mindfulness. So as I mentioned, this is something that I've been teaching for 5 years, and I have been practicing since about the age of 15. Not consistently, I would add, but now consistently every single day, because it makes me feel freaking awesome and calm and sane and like a nice mama who doesn't shout. These things are really, really powerful. So meditation and mindfulness, is really, really important, and you'll find numerous meditations of mine within the Spirit and Soul membership, but you will also I'm doing a free meditation class on, can't remember, check out the Facebook events. I'll pop the dates in on Instagram. The 30th of December, I'm doing a free meditation thing. And you'll also find free meditations of mine on Insight Timer, which is an app. Okay, and you can get the link to Insight Timer from my website as well. So all the information will be on my website, and that's something. There's lots of free things, or YouTube. Abby saying, completely agree with this. I would like to meditate more. Tend to find it's a maximum 3 minutes. I can do this in the mornings, and 3 minutes is better than no minutes. So often, clients and even myself included will think, oh, I don't have time to do a yoga practice. I need about an hour. No, you could do like 2 minutes or 3 minutes or 4 minutes or 5 minutes is better than no minutes, okay? And even that breathing that we just did at the start, in for 3, out for 5, do that for 1 minute, okay? I guarantee you will feel better than if you didn't. So don't ever be put off thinking I don't have enough time. You can do that. Oh, thanks, Elaine. Okay, next up, move, stretch, play. So I mentioned obviously earlier, exercise, and when I first started, that was for me literally walking around my garden. And I think in my book I chose a case study, a client of mine who also had suffered with depression. And for her, her movement was just cleaning her house when her daughter was at school. She basically slept the whole time that her daughter was at school, because she had no energy, and she would save that energy for her daughter getting home. And the transformation in her is huge, colossal, but it doesn't need to be a lot. She would have a boogie sometimes when she was doing her cleaning, put on some music, any form of movement. I've got a playlist actually, I think, on YouTube, if it's still there, called Move, Shake, Play. And just moving your body, like when you're anxious or depressed, we feel like small, we feel tight, we feel contracted. It's this tightness that's over us. And shaking it out, or even like screaming as you do it, whatever you feel to get rid of that. Running, I used to love running. But I do mention in my book, if you are like suffering really bad anxiety, I wouldn't recommend that you go and hammer it at the gym or run loads and loads, because it can actually make you feel worse. You need to build up to these things gradually, so you're not putting additional stress and strain on your body. But any kind of movement, literally like shake it out, like do whatever you need to do. See, it'll make you laugh, and then laughing makes you feel better. So move, stretch, play, do whatever you need to just get rid of some of that tension that you're holding in your shoulders, your body, wherever. Okay, 2 more left to go out of the 10 keys. And we are going to, let me have a look here. Yeah, we're going to finish with a meditation. But the 2 other ones, flying solo. Okay, so self care, thinking about things that you do for you. So when I was really, my anxiety was at its worst and then I had my breakdown, I was doing bugger all to support myself. It was ridiculous. I had every excuse under the sun, because I was putting everybody before myself, because that was what in my head being a good mum meant, which is absolute tosh. But so for me now, my self-care looks like, it's quite extensive. I go for Reiki. I go for massage. I have a coach. I take regular salt baths for myself. I get up an hour before the rest of my family so that I can meditate, so that I can do some stretching, so that I can journal. I will regularly go and take a bath at the weekend in the afternoon. I go into nature. I do yoga. I do dance. I do boxing. Um, Lots, lots and lots and lots. But it will look different for everyone. Your self care for you, hit me up in the comments. Like, what do you do for your self care? Okay. As I say, it could be absolutely anything. It's just a way of looking after you. It could be having an early night, it could be reading a book. It doesn't have to be something that you pay for. It's about looking after you. It could be saying no to that invite that you don't feel comfortable with. Yeah, so having boundaries. So thinking about that. And then last up, you can let me know in the comments what you do for self care. You might motivate somebody else. Lois, yeah. Lois is saying workout. Too right, Lois. Abby, meditate in the morning and then gym 3 times a week. Brilliant. So we need to prioritize these things for ourselves, to honor ourselves, because life is for living, life is for surviving and for thriving, not surviving. We don't want to just get to the end of our day and just think like, that was pretty crap. Yeah. You can't relive that day. Lee's saying sing, love it. Orla sets a time limit on her phone, incredible. And honestly, guys, just now that is so necessary. It's really easy to get stuck in that loop. Claire's saying colouring, crafting, reading. Yay! I love it. So it's great. So once we start throwing out these ideas, then other people can pick up going swimming, cook for yourself every day. Yeah, like cooking for ourselves a really big one. Like I know when like if Stuart's away or anything like that, and I've sometimes been like, oh, Can't be bothered cooking for me. What's the point? There's every point. Why would you not cook for yourself something delicious? So the weekends, I love that. I take time and I like, you know, love creating beautiful things. Let me read out some of these ones on Facebook here. Margaret's Reiki, Pilates, dance, meditate every day, walks with her dog. Woohoo! Elaine's meditation, essential oils, yoga, exercise, walking, rest, really important. Over on Instagram, we're having a little colouring book chat. Lois is saying she bought a colouring book from me. Abby's saying she loves the idea of colouring. So colouring is engaging with that creative part of yourself, engaging with that childlike self. It's about playing. Yeah, so have fun. Life is there to have fun. Not just to be kind of suffering and struggling. There are ways that we can support ourselves. And if you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't give up. Or message me, ask me, like say, well, I don't know what to do. You know, reach out and let me help you in some way if I can. Okay, last one, dare to be different. And some of you have already commented on this. So, you know, we can get really stuck in thinking, okay, I have anxiety, I'm just an anxious person. I have depression, I need antidepressants. Okay? Thinking along those lines. So your standard route would be, okay, I'll go and speak to my GP. They'll tell me probably to go and use the Headspace app. Seems to be a common one, or you know, your antidepressants, which is all fair and well in coping through traumatic, difficult times, but it's not going to support you in the long term. So this dare to be different aspect of my 10 is thinking about different things you could do. So Margaret's mentioned Reiki, Elaine's mentioned meditation, essential oils, you know, mentioned colouring and things like that. So thinking about what things, hey Sam, what things could you try that are different? Okay, I literally tried everything probably you could possibly imagine. Homeopathy, hypnotherapy, I went to see the chiropractor, I used acupuncture, used essential oils, yoga, shake therapy, all sorts of different things to try and support myself in overcoming anxiety. And I didn't give up. I kept trying and trying and trying and trying. Reflexology, Claire said, yeah, amazing. So all these things are so important. And just because your friend went to, you know, a Chinese medicine practitioner and had acupuncture and their anxiety went, and then you went and tried it and it didn't work for you, yeah, like it doesn't mean that there's nothing that won't work for you. It's a case of Abby saying she likes acupuncture, you know, trying different things until you find out what is right for you and enjoying that journey and process. You know, it's a learning experience, and you know, like in there'll be funny stories along the way of the things you try. You know, I no, with the acupuncture, for example, the first time I went, and I'm like such a phobic of needles. It's like why I thought that would be like the best approach for my anxiety, I don't know. But I decided to go and give it a try. And I remember like she put the needles in and I had my eyes closed and she said, I'm just gonna leave you now and then I'll come back. And I was like, okay. And then she left the room and I opened my eyes and I had like all these needles down my whole body and in my face. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is horrific. I need to get out of here. But every time I tried to move, it was sore where the needles were. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Anyway, love acupuncture now. But at the time, first trying it, I was like, what am I doing? You know, drinking crazy Chinese herbal teas and all sorts of potions. But hey, this is the thing. Dare to be different. Try new things. Until you find what your thing is, and it will change at different points in your anxiety journey as well. So that's your 10 key there. Okay, so I mentioned you can download that from the website, go to resources and just spend some time or write it in your book. How are you doing in each of those areas? Okay, these 10 key things here are also the 10 chapters of my book. So, so if you are struggling for ideas of, okay, like I'm struggling in protecting myself from negativity, for example, you could go to the book and you could look up that chapter and get some ideas of how to support yourself. So the book is $12.95, so it's not a big investment. You can get from Amazon, Waterstones, me, wherever, any good bookseller, you will be able to get a copy of my book. And, that is a really great way to start that journey and start that process. So I want you to think about anxiety as your teacher. I want you to think about what is my anxiety trying to teach me, because I guarantee you it won't just be one thing, okay? It will be a whole host of these lifestyle things that are going on for you. And when you begin to address each of those, and I know some of my clients are here, especially on Facebook, and they've made some comments there. And Abby is saying here on Instagram that she's read my book and she's found it brilliant, lots of useful tips. So, everything has a knock-on effect. So you may come thinking, well, I'm depressed because of this, or I'm anxious because of this. But when we break it down, it's actually a whole host of other things. And this is why there's no magic pill. Okay. So when you look at those and have fun with it. Okay. So one of my things that I mentioned at the start was, if we don't tackle our mindset, then the rest of it is going to have some effect, but not very dramatic or not lasting. Okay, so mindset is critical. So I mentioned at the start, when I was speaking about kind of self-harming, the things that I would say to myself. Oh, thank you, Orla. Orla saying, your book has made such a big impact on my health this year. I would recommend it also. Bless you. Thank you. So, thinking about how we speak to ourselves. And the more awareness you bring to this, the better. So, are you telling yourself you're stupid? Are you telling yourself you're a failure? Are you telling yourself you're too fat, you're too thin, you're too big, you're too small, you're too intelligent, you're not intelligent enough? We're all too something or other, yeah. And in my case, and when I was bedridden, I was like, oh my gosh, my husband's gonna leave me. I'm such a failure. I'm such a bad mom. All the negative chat. So one of the things we can use to support that is look at kind of reprogramming our mind. And we can do that in a number of different ways. Meditation and mindfulness is a great way to do that, but also the use of affirmations. So thinking about ways to speak about ourselves positively. So an example I give of this was when I used to drive my car with the kids in it, I used to panic that I was going to pass out in the car, I was going to crash the car, that something bad was going to happen. So what I did then was, my friend gave me some affirmations that I was bold, I was fierce, and I was brave. And I would drive the car, and the kids would be like, go down in the car. And in my head, all I would be saying is like, I am bold, I am fearless, I am brave, I am bold, I am strong, I am brave, I am bold, I'm whatever, fierce, I'm brave, whatever, going over again and again and again, till I got to the destination, and I'm like, whoa, we're alive. So using affirmations is a really, really powerful way to reprogram our brain, because when what we tell ourselves, our brain believes. Okay, so your brain doesn't know the difference between a real life event and what you're telling it. So this is why when we go over a scary situation or something's happening, we tell it again, we can feel those same emotions. Yeah, it's triggering that response in our body. However, conversely, the opposite is true. So when we rerun this more positive cycle, it allows us to, build these new positive pathways in our brain. Abby's saying she likes affirmations but finds them quite overwhelming as there's so many to choose from, and how to know which one is, let me see the bottom bit, that's for me. Okay, so here's an example, Abby, and the power of Google and Pinterest. This is what I used to do. I'd wake up in the morning, I'd feel shit about my health, for example. I would type in affirmations for health on Pinterest, pick the first one and go with it. Yeah. Repeat it. My body is healthy and vibrant. My body is healthy and vibrant. My body is healthy and vibrant. If, say, you were looking for confidence, you could just be saying, I am confident, I am confident, I am confident, I am confident. The affirmation will give you the strength you need. Okay, so whatever it is for you, focus on that. Use that as your your tool. So, you know, it can be quite simple. There are some quite long, convoluted one, but as I say, it could just be simple as like, I am brave, I am brave, I am brave, I am brave, I am brave. Oh, I'm brave. And Lily used to, I'd give an example of that as well. Lily trying to take some medicine and not liking the flavour of it. I can't take this, I can't take this, I can't take this. If you keep telling yourself you can't, you can, okay? But then she was like, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, I'm brave, I'm brave, I'm brave, I'm brave. Oh, I've done it. Yeah? So use the affirmations to support yourself. And gratitude as well. So things that we're grateful for. I know we're coming up for like nearly 55 minutes. I can talk, eh? Just think what it would be like if we were all talking back properly, face to face. Be here for hours. Margaret's saying she's in her 40 years of suffering from anxiety and panic attacks. Your book is the best one I've read, and it set me on my spiritual journey. So easy to read and down to earth. I refer back to it often. Thank you. Oh, thank you, thank you. And you know what? As you can see by my post-its, I refer back to my own book often. It's my Bible. And we all need that reminder because it is a lifestyle. It needs to be done consistently in order for it to have lasting effect. So I'm going to share one of my favorite quotes with you. And you can write it down if you want. It's by a Chinese philosopher, Lao Tzu, and it's an important one to remember. If you're depressed, you're living in the past. If you're anxious, you're living in the future. If you're at peace, you're living in the present. Okay? So if you're depressed, you're living in the past. If you're anxious, you're living in the future. If you're at peace, you're living in the present. Okay? So this is where your mindfulness and meditation can come on. Okay. Lois is asking, how's the celery juice going, Susie? Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. But who knew celery juice could taste so different depending where you get your celery from? And it's a whole lot of celery, isn't it? Both Stuart and I are doing it, so it's like 2 whole things a day, like packets of celery. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. We like to try different things, mixing up the health, mixing up all the positivity and the nutrients and the green healing juices. Okay, Pamela's saying she loves our gratitude practice. Even her mum and dad now say their gratitudes when they go to bed every night. Oh, beautiful. Margaret, her car's been in for major surgery. She's lost confidence in it. She wants a new car. I started telling my car I love it and thanked it for being safe on my journey. Yes. Yeah. So being grateful for what we have is a huge one, and it will pull you instantly into the present moment. So I don't have my jars out here, they're in the house, but you know, thinking about things that you're grateful for. I do this every single day as a practice. Write down 3 things you're grateful for, and that will help build this positive neural pathways in your brain as well. When we can begin to build on the positive experiences in our life will begin to feel more positive. Sounds like so much common sense because it is. But this is the thing. Nobody teaches these things. Nobody says to us like, oh, are you sleeping enough? Are you drinking enough like water? Are you looking after yourself? Are you like, do you know what I mean? Like these are your core things, like the us basic human needs. You know, being kind to ourselves, being positive. Oh, so much love going on in the Instagram and the Facebook. Thanks, Abby. So yeah, it means a lot. So yeah, getting thrown off now. Getting thrown off. Thank you. So I'll just tell you a little bit about how you can connect with me, and then we'll finish with a meditation. If anybody's got any questions, please fire away. But basically, kind of laughing. You can pretty much find me on any social media network except LinkedIn because I've removed myself because I don't like the vibe. But yeah, you'll find me on YouTube, you'll find me on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, a great place. If you're wanting to use affirmations, hop onto my Pinterest board, Spirit and Soul Aberdeen, and there's loads of different boards there to support anxiety, affirmations, healthy eating, all sorts of awesome stuff. Head to my website is be the first place really, because there's a resources section there, and that will lead you to the free meditation app. It'll lead you to my book. It will lead you to a load of different PDFs that you can print out to support yourself. So that's www.spiritandsoul.me. My preferred choice, if you want to get in touch with me, email me or phone me. Yeah. I'm not a huge lover of the messenger, so apologies if you messenger me. I take a while to get back. But yeah, just call me. Let's just chat. Let's just chat like this. I'm more than happy to do that. And then obviously my book. So you can purchase my book, as I mentioned, online, anywhere. And I have the Spirit and Soul membership, which is a great place to start, $9.99 a month. You get meditation classes with me, you get support, you get master classes with awesome people like Lois, who's on Instagram right now. So there's like master classes from other kind of experts in health, well-being, happiness. We've got happiness coach teaching us next month in January, which I cannot wait for. I think we could all be doing with boosting the happiness. We're looking at moon magic in the membership in February, and then we're doing Pilates and alignment in March and strength. So like so much awesome stuff coming up, and also back catalogue of tools there for stress, anxiety, chakra balancing, relaxation, confidence, you name it. It's all there. $9.99. Come have a look, see what you think. And then obviously my coaching. But anyway, I'm happy to have a free chat with you, talk you through some options if you feel that you need that. Okay, shall we do a meditation? Shall we finish off with a meditation? And then I'm super excited because my kiddos arrived home from university. So I'm ready to go and give her a great big cuddle. Okay, so making yourself comfortable. You can pop your feet on the ground. Okay. And have your hands on your knees, pop them facing downwards. Or you can be lying down, whatever you are. Just don't be driving as you do this. Okay. And then allow your eyes to close. And with your eyes closed, just breathing in and out. Nice, long, slow, deep breaths in and out. Then I want you to visualize you're breathing up and down your spine. So from your bottom to the top of your head, and the top of the head back down to either your bottom or your feet. Breathing up and breathing down. Like there's a rod connecting your spine to the ground beneath you and up ahead, up top. And just feeling your head relax, your eyes, your brow. Feeling your jaw relax, your teeth slightly part. Feeling your shoulders drop. Feeling your tummy soft, your hips, your knees, your calves, your shins, all the way to your soles of your feet, feeling nice and relaxed. And then just saying in your head, I am safe and supported. I am loved. I am calm. I deserve to be happy. I am healthy and healed. Breathing deeply, allowing the sides of your mouth to gently raise to smile. Noticing how it feels to smile. And then gently blinking your eyes open. Okay. So thank you, everybody. I'll run through those 10 things again to think about. Your mindset, positive mind, positive vibes. How can you improve your mind to think more positively? And the first comes from awareness. Protecting yourself from negativity. So thinking about how much negativity you're exposing yourself through to, whether that be through people that you're around, situations you're dealing with, social media, the news, etc. Saying no. Okay, so saying no to things that aren't supporting you. Thinking about food, diet, nutrition. What are you eating, drinking to support yourself? Getting outside, getting into nature, making that a daily practice, even if it's just standing at your front door breathing. Breathing was the next one. Think about your breath. Thank you, Sheila. Thinking about your breath and utilizing that. Meditation and mindfulness. Move, stretch, play. So exercising, shifting your body, moving your body, stretching, getting rid of that tension, that anxiety, shaking it out. Oh, get rid of it out of your body. Self-care, flying solo. How can you support yourself? And then dare to be different, trying different things, looking at alternative therapies, different ways to support yourself. So, thank you, you awesome beauties, for showing up this evening. It means a lot. And if you're watching on the replay, say hello in the comments. If anybody has any questions, please fire away, or as I mentioned, drop me an email or give me a phone call. I'm absolutely there to support. I will be working until Wednesday, I think. I can't remember what time I finish on Wednesday. And then I'll be taking some time off. But I will be back in the Spirit and Soul membership. We're on the 27th. We've got our goal setting and reflection. I've also got vision board workshops coming up that I haven't advertised yet. So only my members and my email list seen that, but I will be putting them out to the general public. Oh, thanks, Claire. I hope that supported you and giving you some ideas of things that you can maybe consider that maybe you hadn't. And just try different things, keep searching. Let's not give up, keep going with it. So I am sending you all so much love. I'm wishing you a peaceful, beautiful Christmas with your families or whatever you may be doing. Enjoy munching and just supporting yourself. Wishing you a lovely Christmas as well, Elaine. Thank you. And Pamela. And Pamela, you've made my run up to Christmas super awesome. Check out the Spirit and Soul Facebook page. I've shared some. Pamela has been playing different Christmas carols every day. Thanks, Beverly. In the run up to Christmas, which is beautiful. Sharing her magic and gifts with the world. So I will go and jump off. I'm sending you all so much love. You know where I am. Anything at all, anything you want reminded of, any links you want, please, let me know. But everything should be on my website, www.spiritandsoul.me. So thank you. And I look forward to connecting with you somewhere, somehow in the future. Love to you all.